This program deals with themes of an adult nature and is intended for a mature audience.
If you like what you watch, then don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for the latest updates on the KTPF Community Talk Show. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for our new weekly radio shows. To accompany the KTPF Community Talk Show, we now have our own free magazine to view online or download for free. Visit our website for more details. Also, the KTPF Community Talk Show is supported by Phenomenon Magazine and Beyond Parazine, available online now. The comments and views expressed on the KTPF Community Talk Show are those of the people that make them and do not necessarily reflect the views of ourselves or of our sponsors.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They've landed.
You're in the right place. Online, on the web, and on air. All over the world.
Talk Radio.
You hear us, we hear you.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the KTPF Community Talk Show, live and uncensored from Manchester at www.ktpf.co.uk. Broadcasting via the KTPF, Worsley Radio, and now on DM Radio in New Jersey, USA. So good afternoon to all those over the pond. And for our regular listeners, you can watch us over at Ustream. The link is in the chat room for you, but if not, just ask me and I'll pop it there. My name is Suzanne.
And I'm Steve.
And over in Essex, we have our regular co-host and parapsychologist, I'll get it right in a minute, and historian, psychotic person he is, Andy Mercer. Good evening, Andy. You're a psycho somewhere or another.
Yeah,
How are you, Andy?
I'm not too bad. We've been away for the weekend after Glastonbury. It was my sort of 4 or 5 times you go there. We've had a bit of a trek getting back. The weather was bloody awful and got back somewhat later than planned. So I'm a bit tired. I do apologise, but I'm alive and well. I've had a busy week. Those that know, I've got a book coming out fairly soon. Well, it's actually finally in the process of getting it to be printed. We've had the last final draft back from the layout designer, and there's a couple of bizarre errors that have cropped in, and we don't even know where they've come from. But have now to be corrected, and hopefully, if they're corrected tonight, it should go to the printers tomorrow. So there we go.
Oh, that's all right then. So yeah, the weather has been bad, hasn't it? And apparently we're going to have more of it. So apparently this time it's Storm Clodagh. Clodagh Rogers, I suppose, is doing something in her life. But then again, for you young'uns, you probably don't even know who Clodagh Rogers is. But we've had Storm Clodagh coming along, and apparently there's another jet stream coming along during the week that's going to give us more winds and more rain, and apparently it's going to be -10 tonight or tomorrow up in Scotland. So if you're in Scotland, keep warm.
Are they still talking about a possible white Christmas like they always do?
They haven't mentioned it yet. So that was just what the weather forecast was saying.
In that case, we're not going to get one.
What do you think, Andy?
Well, the interesting thing that we're saying on the weather forecast is it's going to be one of the greatest discrepancies between England and Scotland weather, Scotland and Southern England's weather, for many years, like 10 to 12 degrees difference between the two of us.
Yes, definitely.
It's going to be that we're going to stay quite mild down here, but very, very wet, whereas Scotland is going to get quite a bit of snow. But according to a friend of mine who I haven't seen for a while, but he's a bit of a weather expert because he's degrees in geography and he has a dissertation on weather forecasting, that when I spoke to him just on Facebook recently, he was saying the problem is we have this thing called the Gulf Stream, which is what keeps us warm in the summer. It's over Scotland in the height of our summer, but descends down to Spain in the winter. When we're on the northern side of it, our weather's much colder. Well, it's not moving. It's kind of got stuck. It's midway over the country at the moment, which is why you get the south relatively mild and very wet, and Scotland getting much colder weather because the actual Gulf Stream hasn't quite moved yet. So that's the thing we've got to keep our ears and eyes on, is how that progresses up and down the country, because it didn't go as fast as it's supposed to did last winter, hence no snow, and it seems to be doing the same thing again this year. So, which suits me. I can't stand snow.
Okay, well, as I said, as always, if you'd like to pull up a chair and relax, we're going to bring you a show full of the supernatural, the paranormal and other strange phenomena. Okay, so just want to acknowledge our listeners in the chat room tonight. We've got Vector Man and we've also got Mozzie. Mozzie's there waiting for his reading later on with our guest, and we'll be contacting him soon. And if you're listening on DM Radio or Worsley Radio, if you'd like to pop over to the KTPF Community Talk Show, then you too can get involved in the chat room as well. You don't have to log in, just put a little nickname and you can join us. Good evening, Mank Hypno Man. Nice to see you in there. Okay, don't forget, if you've missed a show, then you can listen to our latest podcast via our menu bar, which is ktpf.co.uk/indexphp/podcast. They are also available on the YouTube channel at KTPF Community Show, along with past shows dating back to March 2012. Okay, and just to let you know, we'll have a few events that are coming up in December from the paranormaleventsforyou.com. And to talk about talking about our guest, we have Alison Wynne-Ryder, who's coming on tonight, and we're going to be talking to her about her mediumship, because she's classed as the Quirky Medium. Also, she's been doing Reiki for quite a few years as well. She's a over 15-year Reiki master, so we're going to find out a bit more about that. We've got 2 readings coming up this evening. So she's doing angel cards tonight, so you can have an angel reading with her tonight. That's Mozzie, and Andy's going to have one as well. And that's basically it. That's what's coming up tonight, apart from all the other things. So I'm going to hand you over to Steve for the observations.
Well, thank you. And if Andy's right about the south being wet, I think our friends down south better start ordering the sandbags.
I think they're better.
Because it was really bad down there last year, wasn't it? Everybody got flooded.
Okay, so what you've got on today?
Today, I have the Heart Omen. On October 30th, 2015, I underwent emergency coronary bypass surgery. It was a complete unexpected. From the diagnosis to surgery happened within the space of 2 weeks. It was just a day or two after the surgery my wife discovered some rather peculiar in a photo that had been taken of me in the beginning of October. In addition to being your paranormal expert at about.com, I am also an active actor and director at local community theatres. In early October, I was in rehearsals for a play that was to be performed in November. During one of the rehearsals on October the 6th, a friend took a couple of pictures of me and another actor working on the scene and posted them on Facebook. A strange anomaly appeared in these photos, as you can see here. A blue line appears on my chest, pointing directly over at my heart and the region of my surgery. Of course, at the time I had no inkling of any heart trouble, and the photo posted on Facebook, I jokingly commented, "What's that ghostly blade about to cut my throat?" Shades of the Omen. I was referring to the original Omen film, in which a photographer takes several pictures of a priest, in which the anomaly line appears aimed at the priest. The dark line was predicted of the priest's fate. He later dies a gruesome death impaled on a metal shaft. Coincidentally, when I was recuperating in the intensive care unit on Halloween night, I was watching The Omen on TV. Surely the weird blue streak in the picture of me was just a freak camera glitch, and the fact that it is pointed at my heart is just a coincidence, right? Or was it a kind of omen? A psychic prediction of the heart ailment I was to learn of just a few weeks later. It also interesting that I used the word blade on my comment when I was soon to undergo the blade for real. 2 more little coincidences. My wife pointed out that in one of the pictures, the actor with whom I am doing the scene, her hand right over her own heart, and the reader pointed out that the other end of the blue streak was pointing directly at a clock, a ticker, which is also slang for a heart. Is any of this truly paranormal or psychic nature, or just many interesting coincidences or a moment of synchronicity? What do you think? Is it synchronicity or just a big coincidence?
What do you reckon, Andy?
Well, by the strictest definition of the term synchronicity, according to Carl Jung, not quite. But it's a very bizarre coincidence, certainly. It is one of those strange anomalies that you can very happily explain as being some kind of bizarre paranormal parallel to events, or just plain out coincidence. It's one of those things you can interpret for yourself, I think. I mean, to me the image looks a little bit like it's possibly a light anomaly, like a refraction in the lens of the camera. Then for that to happen so soon afterwards, it's very intriguing. I think perhaps if it had been actually over his heart rather than sort of across his neck or from the clock, it might be a bit more, not believable, but a bit more of a remarkable coincidence. But certainly the idea of it parallels what happens in the Omen, of course. Yeah, it's very intriguing. It's interesting.
To me, as you, it seemed a bit high to me to be over his heart, but as you say, very intriguing. Here we go again. Ghost doctor spotted stalking the corridors of abandoned hospital. In this figure of a ghost stalking the corridors, it was taken in 1990. The picture of a deserted sanatorium is enough to send a shiver down your spine. After the pictures of Paul Hospital were published in the Gazette, readers claimed they could see a man dressed all in white, who looks like a doctor at the end of the hallway. Posted on Facebook, Joe Griffith said, "Just looked through the photos, and on picture 20 it looks like a man dressed in white at the end of the corridor." And others soon agreed with Joe, replying, "Spooky." While Brad Allen said, "I'm convinced." I don't know what he's convinced of, but he's convinced. Once a proud medical institution, the Nunthorpe Sanitarium originally opened in 1932 and shut its doors in 1989. It then became a heaven for teens looking for their own real-life Blair Witch experience in the 90s. Many other people have spooky stories to tell of their time exploring the abandoned site. Shona Robinson said on Facebook, "Remember going up there at night? Loads of us, it was a real creepy place." Bob Murray added, "Was spooky, few experiences after pool was closed. Cleveland police used grey towers for dog training. No dog would go into the chapel and would not got past the door. The police handler could not believe it." Keith Shorten said, "I'd done security up there on permanent nights when it was closed down, and believe me, I did not look forward to my shifts. The main building was demolished though in around 2002 for housing Grey Towers Hall, now being converted into flats." It does look like there's a person at the end there. But
it does.
Whether that's a bit of pareidolia or not, I'm not sure.
I would probably think it might well be, only because there's no sign of legs. And also the body and face, they're exactly the same colour as the wall behind. There's no definite difference in the colouring, is there?
No.
I mean, there's lines and gaps that would suggest someone with a very, very wide chest. And one arm is the normal length but very, very narrow. The other arm is very short and incredibly long. So, I mean, at first glance, you think, blimey, there's someone standing there. Yeah, I'd say you'd jump to that conclusion quite easily.
Yeah,
but whether
Mozzie says that it looks like damp on the walls. That's just happened to look like a figure if you squint at it a lot.
I tend to agree, I must admit.
Next.
Here we go. And we're off. Is Stonehenge-like structure in Israel biblical Jacob's monument? Has Israel its own version of Stonehenge been uncovered? Now, first of all, I'd like to apologise right now, because some of these names are a bit tongue twisted, so Ghost Rider's going to love it. After the Six-Day War in 1967, archaeologists studying the aerial map of Israel discovered a strange formation of 5 concentric rings of loose rock. The formation is not recognisable from the ground, appearing as random piles of rocks, but from above it's quite impressive. With the outer ring of 152 metres, nearly 500 feet wide, it's called Rujem el-Hari in Arabic, meaning the stone heap of the wild cat. And in Hebrew, it's Gigel Referim, or Wheel of the Giants. At its centre is a mound of loose stones 20 metres It's over 65 feet in diameter and 5 meters, that's over 16 feet tall, covering a 6 meter long, almost 20 feet burial chamber. The entire formation is composed of over 40 tons. 40,000 tons of loose basalt rock. That's a lot of rock. Estimates as to when it was built vary wildly. Scholars generally place the beginning of the construction as early 3500 BCE. In many ways it resembles the formation of Stonehenge in England, which may have been built at the same time. Like Stonehenge, the purpose of Gilgal Rephaim is still a mystery and focused on scholarly debate. There are opinions that it was used as part of the burial process. Dr. Rami Alay, long-time co-director of the Bethsaida excavation northeast of the coast of Sea of Galilee, a professor of religion and philosophy at the University of Nebraska, theorized that the bodies were left there exposed to the elements and vultures until flesh was gone. The bones would then be placed in small boxes called ossuaries in another permanent location. This was known as to the ancient Zoroastrian practice. No human remains were found within the tomb or anywhere else on the site. In fact, very few organic artifacts were found, making dating the site very difficult. There are other opinions that it is a celestial observatory. An entranceway to the centre looks out on the sunrise and the summer solstice. Notches in the walls indicate spring, fall equinoxes. Other markings indicate star risings. This would have allowed the site to be used to predict the beginning of the rainy season's very important survival skills. And if you were wondering why it relates to Jacob, this is what is written. So now come, let make us a covenant, you and I, and let it be witness between you and me. Then Jacob took a stone and set it upright as a pillar. Jacob said to his kinsmen, gather stones. So they took stones and made a heap. They ate there by the heap. Now Laban called it Jagar Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galeed. Genesis 31:45-44.
I've noticed they've changed the blooming names again, haven't they?
Of what?
Well, it used to be Anno Domini and before Christ. Now they're doing BCE, right? We've changed it, yeah? It refers to
They will do
before
on
Common
here.
Era.
Check, have a look at the news source. It's Israeli news. They won't recognise AD because that's Christ.
Yeah, well,
use
BCE is usually refers to Common Era, so it's before the Common Era. So
Yeah.
In other words, before Christ.
though it's possible to reinterpret the abbreviations as Christian Era.
Yes, so before Christ.
Exactly. What you'll see is dates that are after the birth of Christ using the Western format on here won't have AD on them, but BCE will be added to dates before Christ because it's an Israeli Jewish website. It's not just a Jewish website; it's an Israeli website. It's really, it's their news, so they're using their own dating system, if you like. But they use because it's like year 5,700 and something or other in Israel. But when they use our dating system, they will refer to it as that.
Yeah.
That's just from my RE teaching days.
Okay, fair enough.
But that is what.
Next.
Oh, right. So just reading what Felix put in there.
Yeah, she's keeping her mouth shut because she's eating.
Well,
Nice to see you there, Felix.
well, I hope she opens it every now and again, and we're going to get into it again.
No.
Okay, here we go again. More tongue twisters.
Oh no.
Yes, the more. Mummy of 2,700-year-old Egyptian high priest found in ancient tomb. The historic find was announced yesterday, and experts said it was made of wood, including ceremony decorations and hieroglyphic markings. Ankfur Khan-Onsur sarcophagus was found in Luxor, Egypt, in the tomb of Amenhotep II, who was the viceroy and advisor of Egypt during the region of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, which lasted from 1391 BC to 1353 BC. Upper Egypt Antiquities Department Director Sultan Aid said the sarcophagus is made of wood and covered in a layer of plaster. It represents a deceased wearing a wig and crown with flowers and colourful ribbons, along with a ceremonial beard and necklace adorning his chest. Antiquities Minister Mohammed Afifi said the artefact was well preserved and said it was clear the tomb had been reused more than 500 years after it was completed. The tomb was discovered in 1978 and a team of archaeologists have been studying and renovating it since 2009. Scenes in the tomb depict farming, hunting, fishing, together with Hay himself, with family members, officials and entertainers. Now, I don't what they've been doing, because this tomb was discovered in 78. They've been renovating it and they've only just found the sarcophagus.
Well, you never know.
Have they suddenly found a new area?
Maybe.
Ghost Rider said yippee. I think he's on about my little tongue twisters.
I mean, I suppose what you could say is look at Tutankhamun's tomb. That was only found in 1922, whereas they've been digging in the Valley of the Kings since the late 1700s, back in Napoleonic times, and that was missed and missed and missed again, and it's huge and underground. So I can see it's a possibility, but you know.
Yeah, but they're on about actually finding a tomb. This is a tomb that they've already found, and presumably they've emptied it of everything that's in it.
Yeah, I mean, as a parallel to things that they may have missed, you know, the whole tomb or a chamber in a tomb. Well, I can't see it being possible. Certainly possible. Not that it's definitely just possible.
True, but I found it interesting that it's a wooden sarcophagus. So you haven't got all this gold and everything else that we hear about all the time with these sarcophagi.
Well, they tend to be stone, don't they, rather than gold? So.
Well, the outer one is stone, but the inner coffins are usually, especially of the pharaohs, are usually gold. And there's usually 7. So they come down, so they start massive and come down to the actual size of the person that's in them. Over to you guys.
Is that it? That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, what do we talk about now?
I don't know, but did that sound like I knew what I was talking about then?
Well, thank you very much.
I'm going to go and get a drink of water,
Well,
and I'll let you do your Tupenneth if you have one.
I haven't got one. I don't have a Tupenneth today.
Well, yeah, I've got one for you that I thought Steve would have mentioned, but didn't.
What's that?
And it's a Cannock Chase story, no less.
Oh, right.
Which I've now completely lost, which is typical, isn't it? Oh, I got it here. I'll tell you what. I'll give you the link, and you can read it. You can read it out to everybody. It's quite straightforward. It's a Cannock Chase video, supposedly a video of a black-eyed pea, a black-eyed child, not black-eyed pea.
Black-eyed pea? Will I am?
Yeah, black child. Apparently so.
Where's the link?
I've just put it in the chat room for everybody else. Oh, it's not going to work because it's got bits missing. I'll give it to you now in the messenger bit, and then I'll create a link, proper shortened link for the forum page so you can see it.
The eerie spectre was spotted by a team of Ghostbusters who had spent several hours in the Cannock Chase field searching for paranormal activity. Now, this is the terrifying moment. Black-eyed ghost child was caught on camera roaming through woods. A team of Ghostbusters claimed to have captured the black-eyed child of Cannock Chase on camera after spending 6 hours searching for paranormal activity. After setting up its cameras, the team trawled through Cannock Chase, Staffordshire in the hope of capturing a ghost apparition on film. And the group is now claiming it has successfully, in its quest, have evidence which says proves it. Tom Buckmaster, who captured the footage, said it looks like a child dressed in white. You can see the legs moving as it walks away. I didn't even know... I beg your pardon. I didn't even know I had captured the ghost until I went over the footage and thought, what the hell was that? In the blurry footage, a small white outline can be seen in the distance, appearing to be stood several metres away from the camera. Tom had spent 6 hours looking for signs of ghostly activity with his Haunted Finders team, who offer haunted house experiences for their paranormal loving customers. Caption alongside the video reads, "Watch how the figure holds its own source of light within the darkness of the woods. The body of a living person would not carry its own light source in the pitch black wood like this. This is the best visual evidence we have ever caught." Tom says that the recording took place around 7 p.m. on the 10th of October in Cannock Chase. The black-eyed child was an internet sensation 12 months ago after reports it had been spotted in Cannock Chase for the first time in 30 years. Some witnesses claim that the child giggles and calls for help and could be one of many buried in an unmarked grave after dying in a workhouse. And what does the poll say about it? Is this really footage of a black-eyed child of Cannock Chase? No, I can't see anything on this video, says 82%. Yes, what more evidence do you need, says 18%. Well, I don't
kind of
know.
leaning in one direction, isn't it?
More than that, apparently.
So, I'm not sure. I'm just looking at the picture now, so see what happens. Just get rid of the writing. An entity plaguing the local woodlands and terrifying locations. So
I can't actually get the video to play. I don't know if you have any luck.
it's playing now for me at the moment, but I'm getting the writing. But looking at that picture, I'm not seeing anything. The picture that's underneath it. So I can't see anything there. Right, we're in.
Inside that red circle, looks like it's just basically a bit of twig.
There is a light source. Oh, right. Okay, you're not seeing it on there. There is a light source on the video. I don't know what it could be, but because the camera's moving, it could also look like the image is moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you have that deception where the camera's panning one way and you think that the person's walking the other.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
The thing I find really intriguing is they've jumped to the conclusion of the black-eyed kids. I mean, what on earth is the conclusion? Why? You know, it could be a ghost. It could be. But why a black-eyed kid? There's nothing particular about that says this must be a black-eyed child. It can't just be an ordinary bog-standard ghost. You know, it just seems a bit strange for them to say that.
I know.
Yeah, they're also kind of assuming that black-eyed kids are ghosts.
Well, why are they assuming this thing in the video is a black-eyed kid?
Yeah, why are they mixing the two?
I could only think it's because it's Cannock Chase, and due to someone we know of, who's done a lot of work promoting the location as being particularly paranormal, but especially the black-eyed child stuff, that maybe it's got caught in the news, shall we say, now kind of a general linkage of the two phenomena in this one location. Cannock Chase equals black-eyed kids, no matter what it is you might be seeing.
Maybe.
So, I don't know, just a thought.
Just a thought.
I'm not necessarily saying they don't exist, I'm just saying that I think that's why these ideas got linked together, quite intrinsically linked now.
Yeah. Well, as I say, it's the latest phenomena that's been going on there, isn't it? So, you know, it couldn't be anything else at the moment. But, unfortunately, the person that we wanted to come on to talk about it never materialised, did he?
No.
No, which is a great shame. He was supposed to come on, literally at the last minute, he changed his mind, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which is a great shame.
Never mind.
Oh well.
Right, but our guest is waiting in the wings, so we're going to contact her. Okay, and make sure she's ready. And let's give her a quick message. She's been looking forward to coming back on the show, which is what I like when people look forward to come back on the show. So, puppy power. So we're going to call her now onto Skype and get Alison on the phone, and we'll be talking to Alison now in Spain. Lucky person she is. Good evening, Alison.
Good evening. How are you, Suzanne?
Not too bad, my love. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Sunning
Yeah.
it up in sunny Spain, are we?
We are, and it has been sunny today. It's been lovely. I can't believe it's November. In the day, it's been absolutely gorgeous. But at night, it does drop. It does go colder, but nothing as cold as the UK.
Oh, God.
And I believe you've had a lot of rain over there.
Rains and winds and that while you've been sitting there sipping your cocktails.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Maybe we were on holiday, but living here is a bit different because obviously I'm working over here.
Yeah.
But today I've been relaxing. I love my Sundays, that's the only day really that I don't work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my time on a Sunday usually, yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
first of all, we've got some new listeners because we're now we're on Worsley Radio now, and we're also in the USA. On DM radio.
Fabulous.
So let's just let people know a little bit more about you, Alison. Can you tell us about your mediumship and how you got into it?
Yeah, that's quite a long story. It was a lot of activity going on in the home, and I realised that obviously spirit were trying to get hold of me. I've always had the gift from a child, but as a child I didn't know how to deal with it. But as I got older and the activity got stronger in the home, I decided to do something about it and try and learn how to develop it in the right way in a safe environment. So I went along to a development class, and the rest's history really. And then 5 years ago I was chosen to be co-host with Jackie on Rescue Mediums. So I did 2 seasons on Rescue Mediums doing spirit rescue work. I've written my first book. There's another one in the pipeline, but my book that's published is The Quirky Medium, and that's published by Local Legend. And also I've just finished writing my own deck of angel cards, which I'm hoping to use tonight when I'm doing mini readings for people. So they're literally hot off the press now. So I'm a mediumship. I do psychic events where I do platform work. I have actually done some spirit rescue work here in Spain. But obviously I don't advertise the fact or say where I've been doing that because it's private homes. And I've started doing my psychic development, teaching psychic development again, and angel workshops. And of course in September I was back in Canada for nearly 3 weeks. So that was absolutely amazing, catching up with people I knew, meeting new friends as well as old friends. I was also filmed doing a little bit of angel tuition for Very Paranormal, which is the portal to all things paranormal and unexplained. And it's the director and producer of Rescue Mediums. That's their brainchild. So that's all new. And that's where people can see every episode of Rescue Mediums on there. And they can also see hauntings and scary stories. So if you like spooky things, that's the way to go. So I've been busy.
We had Michael pop in on the show last week and tell us about Very Paranormal, because apparently we've got our shows on there as well, apparently. But he mentioned...
Fabulous!
Yeah, he mentioned that... because I've been sending them and he said they were on there, so I assume they are. Michael was saying that you're recording some more Rescue Mediums.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we are hoping to.
Yeah.
When I was over there, obviously I met them because they were the ones that were doing the filming of me doing the angel tuition, and they were saying that they were hoping that we would get renewed next year. So I'm just, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it's we can't do anything about it. But they sound pretty positive about it, so I don't know if they know something I don't. But yeah, it would be good if we are. It would be fantastic. Yes.
We've actually got a rescue to do on Tuesday, haven't we? We've got the start of a case to do.
We've got to go and find out about it anyway.
We've got a bit of a case to do. So
we have a little message for you from Mangy Hitman. Oh man, he says, "Hi Alison, just got back Sorry, couldn't make it. Don't like driving in Spain. Alistair.
Alistair.
Oh, right, yes, I know. Oh, Alistair, right, okay. So I understand that. Yeah, okay, cheers.
So glad you got that. So now you're into your Reiki as well, aren't you?
Yes, I've been practicing Reiki for 15 years, and I'm a Reiki master, so I teach people how to become Reiki practitioners themselves, and I also give people Reiki treatments as well. Yeah. Well, so I am a healer, and I also do angelic Reiki and angel harmonic healing as well.
Right. Well, we'll find out more about that after your first reading, if that's okay. You can tell us a bit more about Reiki and what it's all about. So we're going to get Brendan on the line. So hopefully it'll work. And we can have a three-way. So, Brendan, no, keep the party clean. Brendan, are you there?
I'm in.
Brendan,
hello.
Speak to me. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, you alright?
Okay, I'll leave you two to talk.
Hi, Brandon. How are you? It's Alison.
Hi, Alison. How are you doing?
I'm all right. What I'm doing tonight is I'm doing angel card readings. So hopefully it'll give as many people as possible a chance to have a mini reading. So it'll probably only take a couple of minutes, but hopefully some of the stuff that the angels share with you will make sense. Is that okay with you?
Can I just say, Alison, we've only got a couple of people in, and I might squeeze in as well. So there's only a couple.
Sorry, you keep cutting out. Suzanne, what did you say?
There's only a couple of readings that you're doing, but me and Steve might pop in just to fill it up for if you want.
Just two what, sorry?
Fill it up if you want.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Yeah, but yeah, I'm still doing the angel card reading. So I'll just sort of carry on as long as it sort of seems right, because I'm only here for an hour anyway, aren't I? So yeah, okay. Right. Just bear with me, Brendan. Let's shuffle the cards and see what we've got. Now, bear in mind, what I'll do is I'll explain a little bit about how I work with the cards. I'm shuffling them right now, and the angels and spirit will help to guide me to pick the cards that are meant for you, okay? Now, some of the stuff you might understand, and some of the stuff you won't. Now, the stuff that you won't understand is because it hasn't come in yet. Because although I work on past and present, I also work on future. And that's the clairvoyant side of things coming in, okay? Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
Okay, I thought you'd gone then.
No, just listening, that's all.
Oh, that's all right. As long as you're listening here for this. All right, so I'm just getting your cards ready. It's just while I'm shuffling, I like to talk to you because you can't see me. It's not like you're in the room with me and I'm doing a one-to-one with you personally. It's a little bit different over radio because I can just hear your voice, you see. Normally, when I'm doing psychic readings, I like to see the person clearly. I like to see their eyes clearly, and I do psychometry where I would hold something that belonged to the person, you know, like a piece of jewellery or something. So, okay, now then. Is there a decision around you that you've got to make and you feel like you're at a bit of a stalemate? I don't know if I'm working in the past with this one or whether this is around you now.
Not particularly, to be honest with you. No, nothing I can put my finger on.
Right, okay. I mean, it could be coming in, so it's a decision that you've either made or a decision that you know you're going to make and you're not quite sure which way to go. So, you know, when that happens, you know, you can ask your spirit guides and your angels to step in and help you to make, you know, the right decision. Okay. And with that, it's all about balancing emotions as well. All right. Yeah. We have the changes around you. I've got changes coming in, transformation here. And basically what the angels are saying is, have you heard of divine guidance?
I've heard bits and bobs. I've never like really researched anything or read anything myself. Obviously, like listening to shows like this, I've
yeah. Okay, let's explain a little bit. Okay, when you ask the angels for help, they will step in. Because they can't step in until we ask, because we have free will, because they're governed by many universal laws. Okay. And everything happens in divine guidance. So if it's something that you want, that you really want, basically what this is all about is having patience, because it'll happen within divine timing. But the angels are letting you know that everyone deserves help from heaven, including you. When you do ask the angels for help, be open to receiving their divine guidance through prayer, meditation, or your dreams. So very often they will give you messages through your dreams as well, okay? And it's a good idea to write those dreams down, once you've found out, and then find out what the meaning behind them is. It's a time now to be totally honest about what you want to accomplish in your life, and don't let any insecurities hold you back, all right? Those who believe create their own magic and inner growth, and basically all of this and more will be evident in divine timing. Know that the angels have already set the wheels in motion, and basically all you have to do is have patience and enjoy the ride. Yeah?
Yeah. Can I just ask you a question about... Yeah. Can I just ask you a question about how you talk about the angels, and you're saying to ask them. How do you go about asking them? Like you mentioned something about prayer. Is that based around like religion, or is it just...
No, it's not based around religion, unless you are religious and you want to pray. No, when I talk to the angels, I talk to them like I'm talking to you, basically. I've built an angel altar in my healing room, so I generally talk to them there. I also talk to them when I'm grounding in the morning and putting the psychic light around myself. And I talk to them when I need help with anything, or when I'm sending healing to anybody else, I'll ask them to step in and help with the healing. You don't have to ask them outwardly, you can ask them inwardly. So in other words, because they work telepathically, they are beings of light, okay? So the information that goes between them and me is done telepathically. Like when I wrote my angel cards, they're channeled by the angels. But they didn't just come and sit. They don't come and sit down next to me and go on, put the kettle on, let's have a cup of tea, and this is what's going to happen, and blah de blah. It's all done very subtly, and a lot of it is done through thought process. So, very often, if you've got a decision to make, or you're worried about something, or you want something, and you ask the angels to help, the way that they help can be so subtle that you don't even realise that it's them that stepped in. But the very fact that you all of a sudden know what to do and know where you're going and what you want is the answer that you've been looking for. Okay, so in that respect, it could be prayer in that way, because you're asking, aren't you, and you're believing and trusting in them. And everybody's individual. Not everybody believes in prayer. Not everybody's religious. And there are different religions in the world, and there's no right or wrong with that. But the way that I work is I just open up to them. I believe and trust in them implicitly, and I know that they're going to help within divine timing, which is why we have to have patience. Does that answer your question?
It does. Let me also ask another question as well. You spoke about spirit guides.
Yes.
I've never felt as though I don't think I've got a spirit guide. How will I know if I've got a spirit guide?
You have got a spirit guide. Everybody has a spirit guide. So the best way to find out who your spirit guide is through meditation. And to be honest, you're probably better joining a psychic development class, or going along to a spiritual church if they teach psychic development. I'm running my own classes in spiritual development every week now. I did in the UK, but I'm doing the same here in Spain. And they're going really well. And a few members of the class haven't ever done any spiritual work before, nor are they healers. And yet 3 of them actually, one of them felt their spirit guide within the meditation, and 2 of the others saw their spirit guide. So, you know, it's that trust and belief. And also because I was guiding them, it was a guided meditation, and they would listen to my voice, and then they would go into the meditation and allow themselves just to be open. Their spirit guides came forward. Every single person has a spirit guide, and every single person has a guardian angel. So yes, you have got one. But like I say, you know, whether you want to join a class or not, I don't know. But meditation is the way to go with any spiritual work, basically. Okay.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah. Can I just ask, because obviously spirit and the angels work on voice vibration. When I've answered your question, can you let me know straight away that you understand that? It's just that there are quite a few gaps, and I want to fill those gaps with your voice, because it helps me and the angels and spirit to get a better connection with you. Is that all right?
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. And then we have the transformation card, which makes me realise that there are changes either around you now or coming in. And this card is asking you to choose only the things that come bearing gifts and fill you with joy. It's your journey, no one else's. So be true to yourself and make choices based on your gut feeling. If it feels right, go for it, and if it doesn't, steer well clear. Things become difficult when we can't let go of the familiar, even when it doesn't serve us. If your hand is forced and you have no choice but to move on, know that this is the angel's way of telling you that there is something much better around the corner. You are about to move through an incredible journey of self-discovery, okay? So this is all about, and I love this quote. This quote goes with this perfectly. If nothing ever changed, there would be no butterflies. I think that's so lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good comment there. Yeah, I'll take that up.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Now then, this is Archangel Shamuel, okay, and he's the angel of love, basically. Each of the archangels come within a ray of light, and the ray of light that comes in with Shamuel is pink. And Archangel Shamuel can assist you if you're unhappy in your present job or looking for a complete change in career. He can help, renew and improve your caring relationships with others by helping to develop the heart chakra. So see yourself cocooned in his lovely pink ray, representing unconditional love, compassion and clarity. Remember to nurture yourself as well as others, because this will enable you to give and receive love as you move towards the divine state of emotional maturity. If you feel that you've missed out on true love, whether this is a love for another person or love for yourself, this beautiful angel can unite you with your soulmate, and all you have to do is ask. Shamuel can also help to strengthen a parent-child bond as well, and will assist if your heart has hardened and is full of negative emotions. Okay? Call upon his divine love in a quiet spot, ideally in Mother Nature, and ask him to carry your worries away on his loving wings of light as he leads you towards a pathway of true love and happiness. Okay? Hope that was all right for you. Have you enjoyed that, Brendan?
Well, yes, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, though, but like a lot of the things that you've said seem to be like generalizations that like not only myself but probably a lot of the other listeners could probably take on board as well. Is there anything that's specific to me that I could take on board for me to? Because I'm quite cynical, to be honest with you, and sceptical about things. Cause
right. So we've got a cynical, sceptical. Gosh, great.
Yeah.
Suzanne, what to me?
I didn't even know. I'm sorry. He didn't tell me that. He just said he wanted a reading.
Yeah, I've had this before, haven't I? Where skeptics come on and try and disprove things. But I did say to Suzanne from the very... No, just hang on, let me speak, please. I did say to Suzanne from the beginning that I'm doing angel card readings because I've had this before where I've been on the show, I've given succinct psychic information to people, and one guy in particular, he took what I said, but he was trying to keep me on the line to give him more. Bear in mind that these are free readings, and I've given an hour up of my Sunday evening to come on the show. So I'm only doing angel card readings tonight, okay? And I hope that's all right for you, Brendan. Thanks very much. Bye.
I do apologise if that's the impression that I'm giving over. It's just that, obviously, like, I've just got to express what I feel, to be honest with you. And in no way is that meant as any type of personal attack or anything like that.
Okay then, Brendan. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Just going to get me watch because I couldn't see what time it was.
Sorry about that. Alison, he didn't tell me anything like that. He just said he wanted to read.
Well, they wouldn't, because, you know, it is in my line of work, I get this quite a lot. The majority of people are just absolutely wonderful. And I do a lot of platform work where spirit come through and messages are just incredible, absolutely spot on, because spirit never let me down. But because this happened last time, if you remember with that other guy, that's why I thought, no, I'm just doing angel card readings tonight. Yeah. That way, nobody can sort of say, well, no, that's not happening around me. Because like I say, I do say to people, I work on the past, the present and the future. So they're not going to recognise or understand a lot of stuff.
No.
So, you know, that's the way to go. And he got a free reading. What more does the guy want? Do you know what I mean? So
I don't know.
So any more skeptics? I'm just doing angel card readings
he's
tonight.
Just put in there, saying, "I'm really sorry. He didn't sound. He didn't. If he sounded like he was being negative, he's sorry about that. So he apologises.
He did sound negative. He did. Yeah. Well, then again, you do get negative people. You can't do anything about that, can you?
Now, on about your cards. When did you start doing cards?
Right, there's a story to this. Have you got 5 minutes?
Yeah, we've got plenty of time.
Right, we moved over to Spain last April, and in the May I went back to the UK, to see family and friends. And then when I came back in the June, I went outside to water some plants, spilled some water out the watering can, didn't realise, and I'm a terror for walking around in bare feet. And I went out, watered the plants, came back in, and the next thing I was on the floor in absolute agony. I'd skidded on, because here, there's no carpets, it's so hot, it's tiles, tiled floor.
Yeah.
So smooth tiled floor with water on, not a good thing. And that was Friday the 13th. Okay, when I did this.
Yeah.
And the next day was Saturday the 14th, which was my birthday. So I spent my birthday all day in Torrevieja Hospital in A&E. So not a good time. It took from June to October before I could actually walk on it. So I was on crutches for months. And you know me, I'm always so busy. I'm going out and I'm doing my psychic events. I'm doing my rescue work. I'm doing one-to-one readings, my healing. And I thought, my God, I couldn't do any of that. And I thought, my God, why has this happened? And then it just came to me. I just thought, well, I can't go out. I can't see people. So I'm going to use this quiet time. I'm going to have that time to myself and do something useful with it. So I spoke to my angels like I always do, and this came through. Write the cards. So I just started writing a few different things, and I thought this is coming together quite nicely. But I wanted them to be different than other angel cards I've used, because I've got a few decks, like Doreen Virtue's decks and everything. And I wanted these cards to be small enough to fit in the palm of a hand, because when clients come to me, particularly women, the first thing they say is, oh God, these are massive cards, aren't they? I can't shuffle them. So they're a very small deck. My friend Gillian Berridge, who's an amazing spirit artist, has done the image on them. And they're on like a gold scroll on the back with the titles. I've also written a mantra, like an affirmation on them, and also a suggestion of a crystal to use as well. Okay,
Right.
and in them are it's the angels, but it's also prompts like to listen or retreat. I've also got Mother Earth in there. I've got Spirit Guide, Guardian Angel, a Blessings card. They're really lovely, and I've got a list of people that want them already. In fact, that's what I've been doing a lot of today, packing the cards up, to send to Canada and Sweden and the UK. So so busy time. So I just used that time when I couldn't get out quite wisely, really, and wrote the cards, because when I'm as busy as I have been, I wouldn't have had time to do that. So seems like an awful way of sort of getting to that stage, injuring your foot. I know, and also I know that was a lesson for me to slow down, because I was running with this, with the water to go, and then I'm running around in bare feet, not a good idea, and I haven't done that since. So I've learnt my lesson, I think.
Is it possible that the cards choose you?
Yeah, very much. I've been in shops before. There's a lovely crystal shop over here that I go in, and certain things, not just the cards, but quite a lot of things call you, like crystals. But I've been in shops before now and seen a deck, and I've just gelled with them straight. I've just thought, I've got to have these. And when I started working with them, I knew why, because I work really well with them. I don't do tarot anymore, but I do angel tarot. So, and they're really good, because obviously you've got the gentleness of obviously the angels coming through, but the power and the succinct messages of the tarot. And I've tried to sort of, with my cards, combine all of that, but with my own uniqueness within them, because they are different. And I don't have a box with them, because I don't like the boxes that cards come in, because I find them too clinical. So they're in a bag, and there's an introduction leaflet with them as well. So I'm proud of them.
I've been given so many tarot cards over the years, but the only ones that I actually really get on with is the Mythic tarot cards that was done by Lynn Sherman and somebody else.
Oh, they sound lovely. I've not seen those.
They're all based around not Egypt, mythology. You've got the story in one pack of Jason and the Argonauts. You've got another story about Athena, and it's got like
fantastic.
All the Greek gods in it, as part of the
wonderful.
Mercury, and that is the messenger, and you've got Zeus and that. And I must admit, I am quite I like the idea of the Greek mythology, so I think that's why I'm connected to them. But everything else I've been bought, I just can't get on with them.
Right, there is. I mean, I've had decks before, and I just can't gel with them. Like the Rider-Waite Tarot.
Oh yeah.
I just thought, no, they're just not for me. I think you find you find a deck, or the deck finds you, like you say, that you're able to work with comfortably. And I think that's what it's all about, because it's all about keeping it simple, as far as I'm concerned. Working in a natural way with spirit and the angels, and not, if you've got cards that just don't feel right, then, that's the readings aren't going to be.
Well, this is it. As the Rider-Waite ones, you look at 7 battens or 10 battens. It's like, what are you telling me?
I know.
Whereas you can look at like mine, for instance, and you've got so much picture in there. Then it tells you, what you need to know, and then you get that intuitive coming into it as well. But you look at 6 battens and you think, what? So there's 6 battens. What's that all about? What are you saying? But it's true. It's weird. But some people can read them, I must admit.
Alison,
I've got a friend. I've got a friend here, Angela, and we call her Angela Tarot. So she does tarot cards, and she's great. They're really good. That's her thing. That's what she does. Everybody's different. And when I'm doing one-to-one readings with people, I always tell them the way that I'm going to work.
Yeah.
I was at a mind Body and Spirit Fair yesterday, and I did 8 readings, one after the other. I was really busy, and then last night I did a Skype reading for a lady in the Yukon, she was 10 hours behind me here. 10 hours.
Wow.
Because normally, like people in Ontario, where I went to, they're 6 hours ahead, but 10 hours.
God, I don't know.
So I don't normally work in the evening, but I had to do her reading in the evening, obviously because of the time difference.
Steve, you got a question there?
Yeah, Ghost Rider in the chat room has asked, have you done any meditation CDs, and if you have, how can you get them?
That is honestly, is this person psychic that's asking this? Yes, I'm in the middle of doing them. I've actually recorded them, and I'm getting some music put to them. I'm not seeing too much at the moment, but I'm hoping that some of them are going to be out before Christmas. I know we're only a few weeks off, but 3 of them have already been recorded and put to music. So I've just got to write the other one and get some music to that as well. And so, they'll be available soon. And as soon as they are, obviously, I'll advertise them on Facebook, Twitter, and my website.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a friend of yours on Facebook anyway.
Yeah. So he was
all right. Who is it? Know who it is?
He was the one that you signed the book for, and you sent it to him in Norwich.
Yeah, J.W. Cena.
J.W. Cena. My brother-in-law.
Oh yes, of course I do know him. Yes, yeah. Oh, bless him. So the answer to that is hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
He said he's putting his tin hat on.
He's going to put his tin hat
Pardon?
on. He said he's going to put his tin hat on so he don't read anything again. So he doesn't get messages.
Oh, bless him.
Right, so we've touched on your Reiki. Now, you've been doing this for 15 years. What's so special about Reiki? What's it all about?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's working with energy from the universe. So it's like universal energy that when I'm doing healing on somebody, the energy, obviously I'm just a channel, so the energy sort of is channeled through me, and it's hands-on healing basically. So I'm working through the chakras of the recipient, starting with the crown chakra and then ending up with the feet. And it helps people on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, on a physical level. So say if somebody comes to me and they've got a bad knee or pains in the leg, Reiki will help with that on the physical, but also if they're holding on to anything emotionally, it will help on that level as well. It's also very relaxing, and it's just incredible. I had a lady that was in terrible pain with and I can never say this, fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia.
She was in so much pain with that. And she came to me for a Reiki treatment, and then she rang me up and said, that's the first good night's sleep I've had in months. So, it works. It does work. In fact, we were in one of the magazines, in one of the spiritual magazines, myself and Rachel. I was talking about, Reiki and angel harmonic healing, and she was the recipient. She came along for the treatment. So, it worked really well. But of course, I teach it as well. And when you're doing Reiki, you have to be attuned by a Reiki master. So, it's becoming really popular now. When I started doing Reiki 15 years ago, hardly anybody heard of it. So people are more aware of it now, I think.
There's so many though, isn't there? We met somebody, an old friend of ours, who started doing Gaia, is it? Gaia Reiki?
Gaia, I don't know that one. I teach and heal with the original Reiki, who's Reiki. So there are like different ones that have developed, and people sort of bring their own part of whatever that is, Reiki, with that. So I've not heard of that one.
No.
When it comes to Reiki, do you have to kind of believe that it's going to work?
Do you have to what, sorry?
Do you have to believe it's going to work?
Do you have to believe?
Do I have to believe it's going to work, or the person that comes to me?
The person taking it.
Yeah. Well, I've had people come into me before not knowing anything about Reiki, so maybe not. Not necessarily. It's just that it does work. It works on all levels, you know, whether the person believes that that's going to happen or not. But obviously a positive mind helps. But I mean, I've had people come into me in so much pain, physical pain. I've had people come into me in emotional distress. And they're just like reaching out, and they would try anything to, you know, to help them to feel better. And, you know, obviously afterwards with the, you know, the fabulous feedback I've had, it has helped them on so many levels. But obviously when they first came to me, not everybody is positive about it, because they just don't know what to expect until I explain it to them before the treatment.
We're going to go on to another reading. Now, Andy's back down from a reading for some reason. Haven't you, Andy?
I'm back down. Back down.
He's having problems with his Skype, isn't he?
He's having problems with
I'm having.
haven't you?
I must admit, if I can just say, I think a little bit of the problem might have been, Alison, is that I'm hearing both you and the last reader person, and I'm getting dropouts from both of you, so I was a bit confused as who was saying what for a little while. So I don't know if perhaps you might have thought that Brendan wasn't speaking, when actually, in fact, you might be experiencing the same dropout problem I've been having with the studio tonight.
Right, yeah, and I've noticed that all of you speaking, it sounds like you're underwater a little bit, and you are cutting out. That's why I've had to say a couple of times, can you know, because I can't hear you properly. So, you know, gremlins at play, I think. That's
conditions.
Yeah, we're saying the weather here is pretty awful. We're all getting like very heavy rain and strong winds, and the signal itself is reading as being quite poor. So it may well be that the weather problems over here are causing difficulties.
It probably is. Yeah, it affects us here with the television.
Yeah, which is, you think these days, 21st century technology and all that, it would be immune to it all, but no, it's not, is it, of course? I was just talking a little bit, just sort of chatting on the forum bit, about energy healing generally, that Reiki, of course, comes under that kind of bracket of energy healing, matrix energy healing, if you like. That, I mean, I'm very much into quantum physics, quantum mechanics, and that's total subatomic, the smallest scale. Everything is just energy. You know, all matter is just...
Sorry, I can't... could you slow down a little bit, Andy? You're cutting out, and I'm hearing tiny bits of what you're saying.
Can I make a suggestion that you turn your camera off, Alison?
There's like a buzzing as well going on. Right. There's like a buzzing.
Do you want to try it without your camera? See if that works. Go on, Andy.
Talking about energy healing and the fact that we are all ultimately just energy anyway, the whole universe is just energy. We would have said not that long ago that was very much a kind of mystical, magical position to take. But modern science, particularly quantum mechanics, is basically saying exactly the same, that everything is energy. So energy healing, including Reiki, has become much more... not mainstream, but it's seen as being, you know, very definitely a feature of how we live and how we work. That you can make great changes in people while you literally just manipulating the energy around you, around and within them. I've been reading up what's called matrix energetics as a form of therapeutic work, which I'm finding absolutely fascinating, which is that similar kind of thing. But I'm also in doing Hindu mysticism and the chakra healing, which I was just saying has been around for 1,000 years. Certainly energy healing in ancient India was common. So it's something that's may have been even 10, 20 years ago seen as being a bit sort of a bit way out, is now being seen as, this is real stuff. It really does make a difference. So I think it's all very positive that energy healing is something that needs to be investigated more fully in the 21st century.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think people, because of all that as well, people now they are believing it, and it is more acceptable. So it's not seen as sort of hocus pocus anymore, you know. So exactly. We're not living in the dark ages, are we? So no. Excellent. Yeah, enjoy your research. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah, it's something that's the last sort of couple of years really I've moved more in that general direction. I find it quite fascinating stuff. Yeah.
Also means we won't get charged as a witch now.
No, we won't get charged as a witch now, will we?
I've been called a witch before, I tell you.
You and me
I don't
both.
mind that, actually. I find it as quite a compliment because, like, you know, Wiccan is just incredible, isn't
Yeah,
it?
You and me both.
Yes. Yes.
But, I don't know. So do you want to do a reading for me then, Alison?
Yeah, I'll do an angel reading for you, yeah?
Do me a short one.
Yeah, okay. How short?
Well, whatever. So...
Until you run out of things to say.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't I've got a deck here, I don't use them all the time, but they're just beautiful, and they're called saints and angels. So should we see which saint or angel energy that you can call upon to help, or who, you know, see who's working with you?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. What do you want me to say? Anything?
Oh, got a jumping card here.
That'll do.
That'll
That's the one.
Do you know, anybody listening in, if you're not aware of jumping cards, basically as a medium, when I'm shuffling cards, because when I do a reading, I do, the information's coming through from spirit, so that's why I do psychometry. It helps me to make a quicker connection with spirit. But until somebody from spirit comes through, I do the cards. And one of the reasons, obviously, that I'm doing cards on the radio is because I can't see the people that I'm doing readings for, and I can't physically give them something to hold, you know, psychometry-wise. So it's quicker and easier me doing the cards. And the same with when I'm doing one-to-ones. If there's a jumping card, actually, you know, that a card literally jumps out of the deck, that is a definite card for that person, maybe the first one to share with them. And we've just had a jumping card, and yours is Speak Your Truth, Suzanne.
Oh, hello.
Okay. Oh, hello. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this, all right?
Yeah, she can't speak her truth. She would cause a riot.
Would she?
Yeah.
I don't know, though. You know, there's a thing, isn't there, about, and you know, there's a lot of things when they say speak your truth. They usually mean speaking from your heart. There's a lot of things that have happened to me and with other people where I've just kept my mouth shut when really I should have actually said how I was feeling.
Yeah.
Because I think that affects you. You know, it affects you because you're holding on to that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I now, looking back, you know, on certain things, I think, you know, I should have. And the reason I didn't say anything to them because I didn't want to hurt the other person's feelings, and yet they were hurting mine.
Yeah.
You know, so it's sort of like a two-way thing, isn't it?
This is it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so speak your truth, Suzanne. This is a strong message for you to speak up and tell the truth. Give any fears or worries about others' possible reactions to God or the angels or whoever you believe in. You can speak honestly in a loving way and still stay in integrity. No matter how others react, you must give voice to the truth as you see it. Heaven will protect you and will guide your words as you say them.
Okay.
As you do so, some people will agree with you wholeheartedly because they've been wanting someone to voice the information. And yet others, and this is the bit I always have difficulty with, others may disagree with you, you know, because not everybody's going to believe everything and not everybody's going to believe in your viewpoints. Like tonight, I mean, that was obvious for me with the skeptic person that came on.
Yeah.
Because they do that because they want to test you. And, you know, and I think, well, you know, I mean, I'm giving up my time to sort of come on the radio and sort of share things with people that are listening in, and I want it to be nice and light and lovely.
Yeah.
But there will always be people that disagree with what you do. And I don't expect everybody to believe in what I believe in. So basically this is what this card's all about. Stick with what you believe, Suzanne, regardless of how people react. You are actually a truth teller, and as long as you speak with love and conviction, you've got nothing to fear. Okay. So speak your truth. That is actually Saint Bernadette, by the way.
That is my downfall, I must admit.
Pardon?
That is my downfall. I want to say a few things and I can't get them out because I'm frightened about hurting somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the reaction. I'm the same. But I think with what we do, I think because we're spiritual people, that is it, you know, and it's all about we want to help people. And, you know, when something doesn't work out or somebody's like been horrible to you, I've changed, I have to say, because now I won't put up with that because of what I've been through, you know. But it takes a lot for it to get to that stage. It does make you a stronger person, but it means that you might for a while be holding on to things that were uncomfortable. Let's try this deck. Let's see what comes up here.
Okay.
Is there something new coming in around you, Susan? Yeah. New ventures, this card is. Okay. An opportunity for a new venture has opened up for you, and the angels want you to know that the time's right for you to embrace it. So basically with this card, have confidence that you can do it, okay? Don't let any doubt come in. Okay. Whether the new venture has been born out of a change of circumstance that set you on a new and unexpected path, or whether you've carved a path for yourself using your dreams, visions and drive, this is your moment. So this is a really nice one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're saying to welcome and enjoy every milestone and challenge that lies ahead, and celebrate how each and every one makes an important contribution to you reaching your goal. If there are any uncertainties, they're saying greet them with an open mind and allow your intuition to guide you. Now, I know that you've got really strong intuition, Suzanne, so let that lead you, all right?
Okay.
And there's a lovely mantra with this one, which is, I believe in myself and I am ready to step forward on a new adventure. Okay?
Yeah.
And your crystal with that is a jade.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
So let's have a look at these. Let's see what we have here. So new ventures, eh? That's not so bad, is it?
If it all goes well, yeah. If not,
now.
If
it's
not,
going to go well. That's how you need to.
If not, then what you've said it means that I can cope with it. You know what I mean? So I've taken that on board.
Okay.
If it don't go the way I expect it, I can cope with it.
This is all about here giving birth to new ideas, but I mean that might link in obviously with the new ventures that's coming in. Aren't you? Pardon?
You worried me then when you said giving birth.
No, giving birth to new ideas, not actually literally giving birth. And, you know, if you ask the angels to step in, they'll watch over you and guide you and protect you during the changes.
Okay.
Because it does link into the new ventures, because obviously a new venture is a change in your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, the fact that that's coming in. All right. I've been given the number 22 here. So I don't know whether that's like the 22nd of a month or 22 on a door, something to do with 22 being significant. I'm also going to look up the meaning behind it for you. Just bear with me a sec. Let's have a look at the meaning behind 22. They do this a lot with me when I'm doing readings. I'll be given numbers so that I'll give the meaning behind that number for the person, because sometimes there are either complicated messages or quite long-winded messages that Spirit would find difficult to sort of give me a whole sentence or a whole few sentences. So it's quite simple for them to pop a number in my head and then I'll look up the meaning. Yeah, this is seeing the positive results of what you're doing. You know, if you've been asking for help or thinking, oh, you know, when is this coming in? So it's all about positive results of what's coming in. But they want you to have patience and stay optimistic, because the wheels are in motion up there, upstairs, if you like. And it's an urgent call from them to keep the faith. Now, it's obviously faith in, you know, faith in whoever you believe in, your spirit guide, your angels. But more importantly, and as importantly, it's having faith in yourself and your own abilities, Suzanne, yeah?
Yeah.
And, you know, what they're saying here is to listen and follow the steps that the angels will communicate to you through intuition, thoughts and dreams. So, you know, go with that, because that's all of those are a way of them communicating with you, you know. So like they can communicate with you through your cards, through meditation, through your dreams, and even, and some people don't realise this, through the words from other people. If you have a conversation with somebody, it's all about listening to that other person, because there might be some information there that they share with you that will help to lead you on to where you need to be. And also overhearing a conversation or part of a conversation, even from strangers, there might just be something in that, you know, leads you on to something, you know, whether it's a book that they've read that you then read and you realise that, you know, that's helping you with so many things in your life. Or they might tell you, you might overhear about a venue or something that's coming up that you decide to go along to, and you meet the people that you're meant to meet, and that opens further doors for you. Okay. So you just don't know, and that's one of the ways that they will communicate and leave signs for you.
Okay.
And this is that there's still something that you're holding on to here. This is Archangel Uriel. But I feel that you're getting there. Your emotions are starting to heal, which will enable you to open to greater love. So that's love for self and love for others. And Archangel Uriel, if you ask him to, will help you to release anger and unforgiveness from your heart and mind.
Okay.
So yeah. So
I can take that.
You know, do you understand all that they've shared with you?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't go into it, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't expect you to. I don't expect you to.
But no, yeah. I am harsh with myself, I must admit. So maybe the forgiveness there is for myself, to be honest with you. But
yeah, it could very well be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a bit harsh on myself.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, obviously, this is one of the reasons as well why, obviously, over air, I won't sort of pinpoint sort of people's personal problems anyway.
No,
it's different if I've got a client on a one-to-one that comes to me, you know, books in, that's different, because then spirit will come forward and sort of give the information.
Yeah.
But it's different like this. You've probably got hundreds of listeners listening in, and it's, you know.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. So I appreciate that. Thank you for that. That was really good. So,
John's just said 22, don't John?
22 is my Aunt Joan's. 22 is my Aunt Joan's door number, but I don't know whether it's to do with that. But,
we're not going down.
Sorry, you cut up a bit there. Whose door number?
My 22 is my auntie's door number.
Ah, so it might be something around her then that she shares with you, or might be somebody she introduces you to, or some information that she shares. You know, who knows what's coming in. And the way that they give it, you know, it's incredible. I just love what I do.
So, did you say you had a question, Andy?
Yes. First of all, I wanted to say thanks to Alison.
You're welcome. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Definitely having problems with some signal tonight. I wanted to say, I suddenly realised, of course, thank you for all the articles for our magazine you provide every month.
Oh, you're welcome. Are you enjoying them?
Oh, absolutely, yes. You're one of the first articles that appears in the magazine, I have to say. You're all quite early on. So people who haven't got bored, they read yours and then probably get bored with my stuff. So no, thank you. I do have a particular question, actually. I have a situation I'm involved in at the moment, and I don't know if your cards are able to give me any kind of idea of how this might turn out without giving any information, simply because at the moment I can't give any information about it, but it's a situation I'm involved in, and I'm looking obviously for a positive resolution, but at the moment I don't know what to expect. Is that the sort of thing your cards could answer?
It's probably, if it's something like that where you want a specific answer to something, or somebody from spirit coming through, that's the type of thing that would come through at one-to-one reading when there's just the two of us, you know, you as a client and me doing the reading for you. So maybe not in this sort of environment, but I can certainly pull a few cards and give you basically with the angel cards, they don't always tell you exactly what to do, but they will help to guide you, and the cards will indicate who to ask for that help. So which angel to ask for help. So maybe one of the archangels, because each of them have their own magical correspondences and they deal with different things. So they will probably tell you which one to call on to help you with that particular problem, so that then they can help it to come to fruition in the right way. Yeah?
Yeah, that would actually be quite helpful. Yeah, it doesn't have to be those things that I can't change results.
Sorry? Hello?
It's a sort of thing. That's what I'm here. Just a kind of a guidance of where things might be going, rather than a specific answer. It would be helpful.
Right. Okay. I'll just tell you what comes up.
Sure.
What to shuffle them first? Is this regarding a work thing?
Yes.
In some way. Yeah, because that's what's here. Okay. Well, these are all very positive. It's something to do with work that you will be rewarded for. So it's like skilled work. It's something a little bit different, I feel, than you have been doing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, right.
Yes, I just want to hear more, because what's going on. So.
Sorry. Hello?
I say that fits. It's definitely this dropout is causing this problem.
Yeah,
definitely.
There's like a buzzing noise that's coming in with you as well. So they're talking about skill. They're talking about skilled work being rewarded, but also a lot of hard work that you've got to put into this. So learning all there is to know about a certain topic. So you've got to put like your sort of heart and soul into it, basically. So and also plans that do need revision. So maybe something that you just need to look at a little bit more to make sure that this is the right thing. And a lot going on all at once, so you've got a lot of things going on at one time. More than meets the eye, basically. Pardon?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Definitely. Lots going on at the moment.
Yeah, but then we have these three really positive cards. We've got Archangel Gabriel. This is the Empress, and she's the angel. Archangel Gabriel is the angel of communication. She's also the angel of peace. And basically when she steps on your path, she tends to move you along it quite quickly. Now, because she's the angel of communication, this tells me that there might be something that you need to either share with somebody, or the job itself is about communication. All right. This is also all about giving birth to your dreams and nurturing yourself as well as other people. So in other words, looking after number one, because you've got a lot going on all at once. You need to maybe slow down a little bit and then prioritize, what you should be doing, first, and then, maybe even writing it down to some degree.
Yeah.
And then we also have Archangel Michael, who's the leader of the archangels. He's known as the warrior angel. And he's the angel to call upon if you want help with strength. It's also talking about positive change. It's really good. And a situation suddenly moves forward. All right. So if things have felt a bit stagnant, then things are going to start moving forward for you. And they're talking about abundance. So it's going to be an abundant time for you. And the successful completion of a project. So all that coming together sounds very positive to me. But a lot of work that you've got to put in, and maybe, prioritising what you're doing, because you've got a lot going on all at once.
Well, interesting.
Is that all right?
Yeah, There are three things that are happening, and what you've said touches on all three of them quite positively, which is very helpful. One I would like to tell you about is I've actually, in the last stages of working on a book myself. It's hopefully going to the printers, the actual printers, tomorrow. Have you ever come across a chap called Dr. John Dee from the Elizabethan period?
Oh, no, not heard of him, no.
Well, he worked on what he referred to as angelic magic, now known more commonly as Enochian magic. Now, I won't bore you with the whole details of it.
Now known as what, sorry? Sorry, it's called what?
Enochian magic.
Enochian.
Right, I've not heard that, Andy, but do you know that I've got a certificate in angel magic?
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so with this guy, what he does, is it anything to do with rituals and spells?
He did.
It would have been, but we are talking about the Elizabethan age in the 1500s. He's long gone.
Yeah, but wow, that's what I do. That's my thing. That's what I do. Oh, your book's going to be amazing. And congratulations with that.
So.
Yeah. I bet you're so excited. You will be when you hold the first published book in your hand, won't you?
Absolutely. I first wrote it over 15 years ago now, but all sorts of things have happened and changed, and I never got around to finishing it, and that's finally coming out, hopefully before Christmas. It's that soon, so we shall see. But yeah, there's another project which I'm also working on, which is what you talked about, that needs a lot more work and needs to be much more dedicated to, and it is a bit of a departure, but it is about helping with other people as well. So yeah, everything you said kind of fits in with what I'm doing at the moment, certainly. And it all sounds positive, which is always good news as well. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, being positive and believing in yourself as well. You've got a lot around you and a lot coming in, but yeah, I think you should be very proud of yourself.
There you go. So,
I much appreciate it.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Alison.
Okay.
We're going to have to let you go, unfortunately.
Yes.
It's been great having you back on, and as Andy said, thank you for contributing to our magazine, and have a good Christmas.
Yes, and you too. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Bye.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye now. Bye.
Bye. Yes, it's a pity we were having dropouts there, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a pity.
And
yeah,
I think that was the main problem when she had Muzzy on there, because of the dropouts, she couldn't get a proper connection.
No.
Which made it all look a bit weird. And we all know Muzzy. He may be a skeptic, but he doesn't do that. He doesn't intentionally try and ambush anybody.
No, he doesn't. So.
I mean, it genuinely was. I think he just used the wrong word. I think he said cynical. I don't think he meant it in the way it sounded. I mean, the way it came across. He said cynical. Then there was a big pause because of the dropout. Yeah. And then Alison reacted. He hadn't even finished what he was saying, but she didn't realise because of the dropout. So that was all misunderstanding, and I don't think Mozzie meant anything by it at all. Just unfortunate.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, Mozzie. So, well, let me tell you what's coming on next week. We're going to have a change of pace next week. We've got Richard Freeman coming on. Richard is one of Britain's few professional cryptozoologists, and his interest in unknown animals has reached back since his childhood. A fan of gothic rock music, he is the zoology director of the Centre of Fortean Zoology, and he's going to be talking to us about cryptozoology and about some of the excursions that he's been on, looking for things like the Orampendek and the Mongolian worm. So all animals and creatures that are meant to be extinct. So that's what's happening next week. So that should be quite interesting. And if you're not sure about ufology, if you're not sure about cryptozoology, let me just explain. Years and years ago, to give you an idea of what these people are out there doing, they used to hear stories many, many years ago about big, giant, man-like creatures, hairy man-like creatures running around the jungles, and things with long necks, being able to reach trees and stuff like that. Hence, we ended up with the gorilla in our midst, and also giraffes. So, you know, these people out there, even though that most of the time they're doing it on a shoestring, they do actually bring forth creatures that we thought may not have been available to us.
And a lot of it all comes out their own pocket, all these travels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to travel around the world, but and you got some of the hardships they go through.
I know, and we know of one guy. Now, don't laugh, but
you just did.
but it is funny, I must admit, when
Well,
you think about it.
It's funny what he's looking for. But
He's looking for a pink-headed duck. Now, I know everyone's probably thinking, do what? But the guy, I tell you, in his defence, he's been out there to Burma to find this pink-headed duck that he's so interested in looking for. Well, I know it's nothing like an orang pendek or anything. No,
it did exist. He's trying to make sure that it isn't extinct.
It isn't extinct. And basically, he's been shot at, hasn't he, Steve?
He's been run over by motorbikes.
Yeah, you know, he's really gone through the pains just for this blooming duck. Yeah, you know what I mean?
He's nearly died twice.
You know, he's nearly died twice, you know, just looking for this duck. And, you know, because there's so much out there that we think is extinct. Richard, for instance, he's looking. His latest thing that I last spoke to him about was the Tasmanian wolf.
Yeah, the thylacine.
The thylacine, which is supposed to be extinct. The last one was back in 1930 odd. But there's been stories and it's still alive.
And that died in the zoo, didn't it?
Yeah, and that died in a zoo. And there's stories that these creatures that are still alive, roaming around, you know, and with so much being extinct of late, they're on about the tiger being extinct, the white rhino. You know, there's so much in zoology that's becoming extinct. It would be nice to find something that we thought was extinct come back. You know, do you know what I mean, Andy?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Why particularly the pink duck, though? I find that interesting. Is there something particularly special about the pink-headed duck?
I'm really not sure, to be honest with you.
I mean, it started when he was a kid, because he had all these books and about different birds, and one of them just happened to be the pink-headed duck, and it sort of caught his imagination.
Right. The pink-headed duck was a large diving duck that was once found in parts of the Gangetic plains of India, Bangladesh and the riverine swamps of Myanmar, but feared extinct since the 1950s. Yeah? I think it's just the fact that he's interested in this sort of thing, and that's he's one that he's been going out to look for, you know. And I think it's just the fact that he's trying to find this thing that's supposed to be extinct, and there's been some sightings of it, and with all these, you know, and I know it may sound silly, but with all these things that are actually starting to be extinct, like I said, I heard recently that there's only one white rhino left.
No, there's three left.
Oh, 3 left, is it?
Yeah, the last one in captivity actually died.
Right,
okay. I think there's 3 left in the wild, and they're actually being guarded.
Yes.
From poachers.
You know, so... But cheers for that, Ghost Rider. He's just put the Wikipedia up there. But as I say, it's it is...
doesn't look that pink in that picture, does it, that head?
It's either the male or the female, that if you look down, the male or the female that that looks more pink.
Yeah, just the image is the female that's pink, yeah.
You know, we've had Richard...
Go
on.
Like I say, the one area of cryptozoology that Richard's written an article for us about, which I am absolutely fascinated by, is dragons. Look, the notion, concept of where dragons comes from. You know, these big lizard-winged creatures breathing fire. What is the origin? I mean, someone who's interested in folklore, I find dragons fascinating. So, yeah, I mean, we may maybe get to talk a bit about that, because he's done a very good article for us from the magazine on dragons, particularly Welsh dragons, particularly. So maybe I'll have a question or two about that next week.
Well, this is it. So if you've been reading the magazine, then there might be some questions that you'd like to ask about some of the things that he's been written about and stuff like that, you know. So
give him a prod as well. had a couple for the last couple of editions, so.
But as I say, some people might look at it and think, pink-headed duck, what are you on about? You know what I mean? But, you know, it's just a duck with a pink head. But I've just put the link out there for Richard Thorne's website, which tells you about his excursions and preparing for his search and everything, and probably why he's searching for it. But, so yeah, it's... yeah,
he did it when we went down to the Weird Weekend. He did a nice interview for us, didn't he?
Yes, he did. But yeah, as I say, it's
so quite quite romantic about this notion of going around the world looking for a duck with a pink head.
It's the passion that they have, because they don't get paid for doing this, and it's a scientific profession that doesn't really get recognised.
I mean, even if they prove it, okay, they might earn a bit from doing tours, but
yeah,
it doesn't. They don't get any money for it.
No.
I mean, if they write a book or they do a paper or something like that, I suppose they'll get a lot more tour work.
Can you imagine the passion that they must have going out to try and find these creatures? You know. You know what I mean?
Certainly.
They've got to have enough passion to do this. You know, staying out in these bloody jungles with big bloody creatures and, you know, bugs and stuff and cocooning themselves in their, you know, in their tents and what have you.
When he first went, the first time he went on a shoestring budget of £2,000.
Yes. So, you know.
Well, I've just found a picture of a lady in an Arsenal hat on his website, so he's got my vote, definitely.
But yeah, so that's what we've got anyway. So next week, cryptozoology. You know, as I say, come in and listen. It's a very interesting subject, and you know, and if you've got a passion for animals and stuff like that, it would be nice to see some of these creatures back into our fold. You know, if they are hiding out somewhere, you know, so why don't you listen? As I say, he's travelled. Richard Freeman has travelled extensively in East Africa, Europe, and the US, studying the native fauna. In 1996, he took a degree in zoology at Leeds University, and afterwards moved to Exeter to work full-time for the CFZ, the UK's only cryptozoological organisation. In October 2000, he visited the remote jungles, rivers and caves of northern Thailand in search of the naga, a giant crested serpent said to lurk in the primal morasses of Indochina, and explored deep caves never visited by Westerners before. So, you know, it's... Felix said she will be there. She loves cryptozoology. Right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break while we do the events.
We've got all the news right here. Don't go away.
And then afterwards, we'll come back and speak to Andy.
Fed up of wading through the activities and events that other advertisers include? Find just what you're looking for at paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory.
Right, well, first up we have Tony Stockwell. He's still doing his tour. So on the 2nd he's at the Grove Theatre, Dunstable, and on the 3rd he's at the Brook in Soham. We've got 3 events happening on the 5th of December at the Haunted House of Correction, Little Dean Jail. You'll find Ghost Callers UK. Ghostfollowers.com are at the Royal Court Theatre in Bacup, and Past Life Paranormal are at the Vernon Institute, which is in Cheshire. Chester, somewhere around there, Segal or something. 12th of December, the Old Chocolate Factory in Hull. You'll find Ghost Callers UK. And for more information on these and other events, visit paranormaleventsforyou.com.
So check out the one-stop paranormal directory for more investigations and events, available now. Paranormaleventsforyou.com also offers banner advertising for only £10 per year. See our website for more details. Paranormaleventsforyou.com, your one-stop paranormal directory.
Okay, so that's what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Now, don't forget, if you would like to be on the show, then contact us at show@ktbf.co.uk. tarotandmediumship.co.uk, where we're open to discuss any specific genre within the ghost, UFOs, cryptozoology, psychic phenomena, and any other supernatural or unexplained mysteries. So get involved. This is your show too. Issue 7 of our magazine will be coming out shortly, with contributions from many names, including Alison Wynne-Ryder, as we said, within the topics we cover, plus our regular features and much more. Just click on the link on our menu bar to view an online digital flip page version, or to download a PDF version. I've gone all stuttery for some reason. Also, if you would like to contribute to the magazine, then why don't you send your article to editor@ktpf.co.uk. Although we regret we cannot accept every article received that will go in that month, but it will go in sooner or later. So, over to Andy and his conspiracy files. Bear with me. Here we go. Andy.
Yes. Just a quick point, first of all, regarding the magazine. It would have been out this week. Unfortunately, I've had to delay it slightly because I've had, say, 1 or 2 issues with my book, which is virtually about to come out. We've had to sort out with the art and the layout, so that's unfortunately taking a bit more time than I expected. So the magazine will be out hopefully next week. Should be finished by then. Anyway, here is my first discovery of strangeness. Rather controversial, but I thought... Maybe me, I've got to include this. I do apologise. If I offend anybody with this one, I apologise in advance. But the article says, I didn't write this, Jesus never existed, said new report that finds no mention of Christ in 126 historical texts. Jesus never existed. This is the conclusion of a researcher who says he cloned 126 texts.
Stop. What have you done?
What?
You went all shushy all of a
What's up?
sudden.
Me? I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting here reading.
Right, okay. Carry on. Start
That could
again.
be God. Maybe it's God being annoyed me reading this article. Anyway. Yes, 126 texts written during or shortly after the time of Jesus is supposed to have lived, and found no mention of Jesus whatsoever. The claim that Jesus, the messianic figure at the centre of the world's largest religion, Christianity, in case you didn't know, was simply a fictional character and not a new one. Advocates of the mythical Jesus theory have been around for years, arguing the story of Jesus bears close resemblance to numerous other mythological stories of the ancient gods, who were born of virgin mothers and performed miracles. In his new article entitled The Fables of Christ, Michael Polkiewicz, I think, summarises his findings, or lack of findings, which led him to believe that Jesus never actually existed, but is instead a fictional character made up to give followers of the religion founded in his name a central icon worthy of their worship. Polkiewicz says that only one of the 126 texts he combed through makes any mention of Jesus. That is, he says, is a forgery. So there we go. That text is a 1st century history book called The Jewish Wars by Roman historian Flavius, who wrote his work in 95 CE. That's that Common Era thing again we were talking about before. But despite making his home just 1 mile from Jesus' supposed hometown Nazareth, Josephus, that's the historian, appears totally unaware of the famous miracle worker who later went to Jerusalem, where he became such a political threat that the Romans found it necessary to execute him by crucifixion. Now, there's a little bit more to this, and I'm not going to go through all of it, but it's very interesting because I was aware of a mythical character called Melchizedek. Now, if you ever look up the name Melchizedek in sort of Google or something like that, you'll find that he was a messianic figure that lived about 1,000 years before Jesus is supposed to have lived, but did pretty much the same thing, including being born to a virgin, carrying out miracles of healing and providing food and wine at a wedding, all that kind of stuff. And that's 1,000 years before Jesus. Also, there was another website which I was trying to find in relation to this article, but it seems to have gone down now, that listed all the inaccuracies and the impossibilities of the Bible. Not the miracle stuff, but things like the fact that Nazareth, where Jesus is supposed to have been born, didn't exist when Jesus was born. Nazareth as a town wasn't founded for 300 years after Jesus' supposed life. Little, rather important inconsistencies such as that seem to have been missed out. Anyway, just reading on a bit further. Otherwise, says the author, despite the remarkable facts of Jesus is alleged to have performed and the great deal of political unrest caused by his arrival in Jerusalem, not a single writer from the time places Jesus' life finds that Jesus so much appears as a footnote. And there's a quotation from the article which says, Emperor Titus Cassius Dio Maximus, lots of other names, assumes none of these writers, he's listed a long list of writers, from the 1st to the 3rd century ever make mention or have heard of Jesus. Global miracles on alleged worldwide fame be damned, says Paulovich in a recent interview. The Dead Sea Scrolls, also known as the Qumran texts, also contain no mention of Jesus. Even the Apostle Paul, the New Testament figure credited with spreading the new religion that came to be called Christianity shortly after the supposed death of Jesus, never says that Jesus was a real person, even in the Bible itself. Oh, that's interesting. Paul is unaware of the Virgin Mother and ignorant of Jesus' nativity. Parentage, life events, ministry, miracles, apostles, betrayal, trial and harrowing passion, as in crucifixion. Paulovich says Paul, this is St. Paul, knows neither where nor when Jesus lived, and considers the crucifixion a metaphorical one. Now Paul is the man who is more responsible really than Jesus. I'm sorry about that. And that sounds a bit strange to say, but Paul is the person who's most responsible for the spread of Christianity as a faith, because he was the one that was on his way. He was wealthy and well known, and was on his way to Damascus when he was encountered an angel and went from being Saul to Paul, and the angel told him to spread the word of Christ. But it's interesting this guy saying that Paul was not aware of any of these aspects of Jesus' life. While today Christianity has become the most popular religion in the world's history, with 2.2 billion human beings calling themselves Christians, Paulovich points out that as late as the 4th century, Christianity was still a small and widely persecuted cult. The invention of a mythical figure for the followers of the cult to rally around gave the early Christians the strength to survive, according to his theory. On the other hand, another recent advocate of mythical Jesus believes that Jesus was invented by the Romans as a propaganda to pacify the public. When I consider the 126 writers, all of whom hadn't heard of Jesus, and Paul, and there's a few more names. Anyway, the writers basically say I must conclude that he must be a mythical character. Now, the idea that a faith or religion would recreate a mythical figure as the figurehead of its faith, yeah, why not? Rallying point, as it's quite rightly says there, it's a figure, it's someone you can name, someone you can link yourself to being a follower of. But there is a lot of this sort of stuff around that's suggesting that the stories in the Bible are just that, stories, they're myths. It's like we grow up with the idea of, Father Christmas and the Tooth Fairy. Sorry, I'm an adult audience, so I assume you all know that Father Christmas and the Tooth Fairy doesn't exist. But it's... I knew someone was going to do that. I knew somebody was going to do that. But the fact is, we grow out of these mythologies. So very important. They have a real important place in our understanding of the world around us. But to turn a myth into a religion and a real figure is dangerous, as we are seeing, of course, around the world right now. But I thought that was quite a fascinating article. It's actually from a long while back, but I bumped into it because it was related to something else I was looking into, and I thought the article itself was written probably in September 2014, but it was re-featured in another place, and I couldn't find the original one I'd seen it in as a recent story, but I found this one later on. So I think the guy may have been on a lecture tour or something that's been re-reported, but I couldn't find the one I was going to use, but I found this one instead. Yeah, so that's my first one. Any thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I kind of agree that the Bible itself is not necessarily about someone's life. It's more lessons to be learnt.
Yes.
And I don't think it's kind of this is fact. This is what you need to learn. But
absolutely,
if you learn and you're a follower of the faith, then so be it. Enjoy your faith, but I think it's more, as you say, fables, lessons to be learned.
See, the problem is, it's not so long ago you'd have been burnt at the stake for saying Jesus wasn't real. We'd be dead. And a lot of Christians today would probably throw large rocks at our heads for saying Jesus didn't exist and wasn't a real person. But when you think about how many other cultures, all cultures have mythologies that you look at and think, well, that can't be real. But, I understand the point the story is trying to make. It's only when it gets turned into religion that it starts becoming real. I mean, I'm very much interested in Northern mythology, the runes, etc. But I don't for a moment believe there were real frost giants walking around the earth that were causing calamitous events, and the giant dragons didn't really exist. It's just a way of making mythologies and stories. The gods that are created to explain natural phenomena like Thor creating lightning, that kind of thing. And we recognise now is just mythology. There's no literal Thor apart from the Marvel comics. But things like Christianity would put forward Christ as being a very real physical being that actually lived and walked the earth, and would be very upset if you said otherwise. But that's mythology versus religion. Anyway, my next little discovery of strangeness from around the world. Got a few UFO stories for a change. Didn't have many last time, but here's one or two. This is the moment a UFO was spotted in Texas. Father and son capture lights falling out of the sky. And there's some clips of the video, which looks quite intriguing. I watched it and thought, not sure what to make of those. But anyway, there may be believers and skeptics alike, but there's no denying something peculiar was spotted falling out of the sky in Texas. The 2-minute clip shows lights glimmering on and off, getting closer to the Earth. Captured by father and son, the footage has been dubbed the UFO sightings on YouTube. Well, it's UFO sighting, fair enough. And has been viewed more than 2,000 times. I think it's actually got up to about 10,000 when I last checked. What is that? I don't know. This is the words being said on the video. There's something falling out of the sky, Dad, the son says. Turn the lights off. Let's go. We've got to see this, he continued. After the lights are switched off, the moving objects appear to be brighter in the sky and more visible to the camera. Looks like fireworks, the bemused Dad replies. I don't know what that is. The lights then form a pattern in the sky before suddenly disappearing entirely. The YouTube channel Finding UFO, dedicated to videos of this kind, also posted the footage, calling it an interesting catch. One YouTuber wrote, flares, they are just military flares. Well, maybe. But another commentator disagreed, saying it would have been more like lights from flares. They just look like white orbs to me. There we go. So, what do you think of that one? It looks quite interesting.
It does look interesting. Sorry, I don't think their flares are not bright enough. They're not lighting up enough for the sky.
Do you remember the Phoenix Lights UFOs?
Yeah.
A few years back. Yeah, they remind me a little bit of those. They had that same kind of almost going on and off, but quite static effect as well that looked a little like that. I mean, the only thing that comes to my mind looking at the video footage again now is it's like air raid flak, from World War II firing into the sky. But there's no sound. There's no sound of that, they're not like quick, bright flashes. They appear to be far slower than that. Clearly something's falling out of the sky, whether it's extraterrestrial origin or not, which is hard to say from the video footage, but I certainly thought they're quite fascinating. So there we go.
Totally agree.
Okay, man. Well, again, the trouble is that you get no sense of size, scale, or distance, do you, from those? It's just these things appear to be there. And that's so often the problem with these.
Happens a lot, doesn't it?
Unfortunately, but this is a similar story, but I also thought this would look rather good as well.
Not just that, you can't tell how close they are, can you, either?
That's it, exactly. You get no sense of size or scape or scale or anything. Oh, typical. One of those websites you go to and it puts, would you like to sign up to our website, covering everything else on the screen before the chance to even read it? Anyway, Twitter abuzz after UFO sighting above Cape Town. So we're off down to South Africa for a change. Durban, the Twitterati were abuzz on Saturday night after seeing what is believed to have been an unidentified flying object in Cape Town. The UFO SA was trending in various people's tweeting pictures of the green light that could be seen from the clouds, and you can see a little image of what they were seeing a bit further down, with the car headlights in the background and a kind of a green light at a funny angle above what looks like a road sign, and then what I think is a hill or a mountain in the background with a white light above it, which I would have thought was the moon, except, of course, I'd imagine that brightness above the green light, if you're seeing the image, that would be the moon. Anyway, Here are the tweets.
Are you also seeing that, Andy? Are you also seeing that what looks like a beam of light coming down towards the mountain?
Yeah, I was going to get to that because I think that might explain what we're seeing here. But I'll read on first of all.
Go on then.
First, it was the clouds, and now green orbs are seen floating above Cape Town. The aliens have come with white supremacy. I have no idea where he's put that from. Planet Zuma quipped that it was the controversial R4 billion presidential VIP jet. Relax, people. It's just a test flight. At Grav's whatever. Reads the tweet. SAB3 says Espresso shows presenter somebody other tweeted UFO seen in Cape Town, green lights and all. Is it real or who else saw it? And lastly, wait. Does anyone know this weird thing in the sky, or is it just me? It's interesting because I think it could be light refraction again, because you've got that beam kind of thing coming from the rather bright bit at the top of the screen, and it could just be the single image that's been captured in a camera and created that effect. Except if you look, there's another image which seems to be across the way. Someone called Nick Frost has tweeted out, which is the same object, or appears to be, hovering. I just realised what the white light is. I do apologise. I've just realised it's a road street light. If you look where the car is, on the one slightly lower down, there's a column going straight up, and then it goes across. That's a street light. Not the green, that's something else, but the actual light above the car is a street light. Because if you look, it's also in the other picture, which is much higher definition picture from Nick Frost, which seems to show the same green object with the beam of light coming down from it. So, I don't know, very odd. What do you think, guys?
I think the beam of light coming down from it could be lens flare. It depends.
Yes.
But I'm inclined to think it's light refraction through ice crystals and at the sky again. Especially as there's no real definition to that. It's just green.
No. That one that said the lower one of the two, which seems to be out in the countryside somewhere, is not very good because it is fairly low res. But the other one, I'm more intrigued by the other picture now to look at it again. The one that Nick Frost tweeted, tweeting about UFO sighting. Please let it be aliens, he says, but it is odd. It reminds me of a photograph, I think it might be video footage we had a few months ago of a similar kind of thing in the sky that we all thought was kind of like a portal. If you remember, like to be opening up in the sky, that's what it was described as being. Yep. It was actually a very weird weather phenomenon. I wonder if it's that again, but it's so strange. There's no doubt about that at all. Strange indeed. Anyway, I have one more story, and there's a reason why I'm putting this particular one up, but I will put it up in the box. So here we go. And it's this one coming up right now. And it appears on screen. And there we go. Moon-like orb floating over the skies of Hull in 1801, no less, is the first recorded sighting of a UFO on Earth. The first recorded sighting of a UFO was made in Hull was found by a Hull historian. The orb appeared in the sky in June 1801 and looked like the moon. It was described as bathing the city streets in a blue light. A blue orb seen floating across the sky of Hull in 1801 is believed by UFO spotters to be the first of its kind in this country. Yay! The object was seen flying over the city and was documented in newspaper reports at the time. It was midnight on the 19th of June when witnesses saw an immense moon with a black bar across it loom over the Humber from the southwest. Hull historian and author Mike Cavell, who I know personally, well, via Facebook, we've talked about Jack the Ripper a lot, Mike and I, because we were both very interested in it, discovered the reference in the moonlight orb after trawling through archived newspapers in the early 1800s. Now, knowing Mike, he was probably looking for stuff on serial killers and murder and that kind of stuff. That was more his interest, but he's obviously come across this one by chance. And there's make use of it, shall we say. Mr. Cavell told the Express this looked more like a Death Star. It was bathed the entire city in blue light. It must have been terrifying. Now, if you think at the time there were no flying craft. I mean, the air balloon had only recently been invented by the Weather brothers, across the pond over in France. So, what on earth it could have been? It wasn't a weather balloon or an aeroplane or anything like that. Very strange. Anyway, it is the oldest sighting we've managed to track down so far. Although there are other examples much earlier, Mr. Gravel said that these are open to interpretation, whereas this sighting had evidence. After its initial disappearance, the UFO then reappeared looking like the face of the moon, before splitting into 5 circular balls of light, according to reports in the Whole Packet newspaper. The Northampton Mercury, reported from the time, described how the object seemed then to form itself into 7 small, distant moons or globes of fire, which disappeared from the space for a few seconds. Many UFO spotters previously believed the first recorded example of a sighting was in 1947, when Kenneth Arnold saw an unidentified flying object. So that doesn't really count, because we're talking about the UK here, aren't we? At the time, Hull's first port had been built in 1788, and the city was home to just 27,000 people. Although it is unclear why Asians would have visited the city, there are many sightings over the region in the following years. Okay, I didn't know about this, I must admit. Mr. Gravel has built up an extensive collection of UFO clippings from the 19th century to the present day. So I thought he was more kind of serial killers and that kind of stuff, but anyway. One of the strangest cases was reported in 1967 when a UFO is said to have landed in a park on the Long Hill estate in Hull. This past month there have been 2 sightings of UFOs. A scary but beautiful UFO was spotted buzzing around an IKEA branch in Siberia? Serbia, sorry, leaving many Russians... Oh, it's Siberia, yeah. Meaning left many Russians puzzled by the strange sight. So there you go, I had no idea there was an IKEA branch in Siberia. A streaking fireball cut through the sky, witnessed over a vast area according to Kazakhstan, including Kazakhstan, providing social media claims about an alien visit. Footage of the mystery object taken from a car show. We've actually covered this one already on a previous show, this particular light. So they've obviously decided, for whatever reason, to link the two. But there we go. So, yeah, a chap I actually know reasonably well from lots of conversations about Jack the Ripper on Facebook. I think we might have met once. I'm not entirely sure, but we've certainly talked about the Ripper a lot. So he's also into UFOs. I should have mentioned to him that we were doing the show, but I forgot. There we go. Well, that's it from me, guys. It's all UFOs and not believing in God type stuff. So there we go.
So you didn't see the couple I sent you then?
I did. I thought you were going to do your Tupenneth, so I didn't include them.
No, I sent them to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no mind.
One of them was, did the Freemasons rig the Titanic inquiry?
Yes, I saw that.
New evidence suggests that the Freemasons were heavily involved in the investigation into the Titanic. Surprisingly, few people were ultimately held accountable for the sinking of the Titanic in April 15th, 1912, an event generally regarded as one of the most infamous maritime disasters in history. Now, new research into a recently released secret archive of more than 2 million Freemasons has revealed that several of the officials involved in the investigation were members, as were several of those who might have been negatively impacted had they been held responsible. Some of the most prominent Freemasons involved included the judge who oversaw the British Wreck Commissioner's inquiry into the sinking, Lord Mersey, who oversaw the investigation that exonerated the Board of Trade, the President of the Board of Trade, Sidney Buxton, naval architecture expert Professor John Harvard Biles, who was an inquiry assessor, Edward Chaston, an engineering expert who was also one of the inquiry assessors, and Lord Pirrie, chairman of the Belfast shipyard which originally built the Titanic. The Titanic inquiry in Britain was branded a whitewash because it exonerated most of those involved, said author and Titanic expert Nick Compton. Even Captain Smith was exonerated on the grounds that most other ships at the time also sped through the ice at full speed with no serious consequences. The only person both inquiries heaped scorn on was the captain of the SS California, the ship that had stood by about 8 miles off, its crew watching the emergency flares being fired by Titanic without doing anything about it until it was too late. What do you think, Andy?
Well, it's interesting because the problem I have with things like that is Freemasons aren't the sort of the dark angels of evil that everyone seems to think they often are if you're outsider from Freemasonry, because I've got members of my family who are Freemasons. One has been the sort of the chairman of the lodge, if you like. Also, back in those days, most people who've been in senior positions in government or business were Freemasons as well. I mean, modern times it is more of a sort of a social club, kind of drinking club, kind of charity fundraising. They raise millions in charity money, but they don't make a big deal of it. But back in those days, there was definitely this kind of sort of underhand dealings of, if you're in the fellow mason in my lodge, then you'll get more work from me. That was bordering on criminality, really. It was just insiders looking after each other. But I don't think it was necessarily dark and sinister beyond being kind of greed, really. So the fact that there were a lot of Freemasons involved in it and exonerated, it's because that was the political establishment at the time, I think.
Yeah. You also have to, if you're going to go down that route, you might as well ask the question, was they also covering up the fact that it wasn't actually the Titanic that sank, but a sister ship?
Yes, that's one of the big conspiracy theories around the Titanic, isn't it? That it was all a bit of for insurance fraud, essentially, that the other ship had the problems, but the Titanic was insured for more, so they swapped the ships over.
Yeah, changed the name on them and just send it out.
You got more money for the Titanic than they would have for the, was it Atlantic it was called? I can't remember.
What
it's sister ship. But there are on the service.
Carpathian or something?
Carpathian.
Carpathian
was one of the rescue ships.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that was the one that rescued most of the people from the Californians.
Was it the Olympia then?
It could be the Olympia.
Say again?
Olympia.
Yeah, it's something like that, definitely. But it was that was the interesting thing, that there was surface. There were a lot of similarities, but I remember actually seeing a program on this a few years back that did point at the discrepancies. It probably is the Titanic, not your sister ship. But that was the theory, because wasn't the other ship was insured for less than the Titanic was, and that was when they had the problem. So they swapped the names of them, claiming the insurance money for the Titanic, and get a lot more money than they would otherwise have got.
Yeah, the sister ship was RMS Olympic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was it. A Titanic and Olympic. Yeah. Rings bells, they say.
Yeah, the Britannic was the last of the three ships that was built.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay then. That's the end of Andy's bit. And as I said, don't forget, next week we have Richard Freeman on, talking about cryptozoology.
We've got all cryptic, talking about monsters and everything else that may or may not be out there lurking.
And don't forget, if you would like to listen to a tongue-in-cheek poke at current affairs and historical facts and fiction, then why not tune in to A Can of Worms every Thursday evening with Dan Franklin and Jed Hindmarsh, who will be shedding new light and dismissing truths on various topics. Described as the radio show for the curious and questioning mind, you can hear more by listening from 8:30 p.m. UK time on worsleyradio.co.uk.
On a Thursday night.
Yes. Boom.
Are they back to 8 o'clock?
8:30, I just said.
No, because they changed it one week, didn't they? Because of the American time thing.
Yeah, that's all done now. They're back at 8:30. Right. So as I say, don't forget. That's the end of the show, and don't forget that you just threw me. You just threw me. We hope that you have enjoyed tonight's show, and we have enjoyed your company. So look forward to seeing you again next week from 8 p.m. on the www.ktpf.co.uk.
Yes,
We'd like to thank our guest, Alison Wynne-Ryder.
Oh yes.
For coming on and giving a couple of readings like she does, free of charge.
And we'd also like to thank you for listening to the KTPF Community Talk Show, which is supported by Phenomena Magazine and Beyond Parazine.
Yes. Andy, what you got planned for the week?
This week, not a vast amount usual. I am clients to see. I'm working on, which one of the things that Alison kind of didn't realise she was talking about, but I think she was, because I need to be bottoming gear basically get it sorted out, and we were talking very briefly in the chat room of the live stream page. I'm working on a website and audio with positive affirmations and relaxation using some script work, which I'm hoping to kind of get off the ground as a project I've been working on for a long time to try and help people sort of remotely with recordings they can download and listen to with my dulcet tones waffling on to about how relaxed and calm they feel, to music that I've put together using binaural frequencies, which is a audio effect. But effectively how it works is you hear one frequency in one ear and another frequency in your other ear, and they're combined together to create a vibrato effect, like a wobbling sound effect, which is actually very relaxing. Scientific research has shown that the vibrato effect can stimulate alpha waves in the brain, and the alpha waves is when you feel nice and chilled out and relaxed. So trying to combine that music with positive affirmations, you will feel happy with yourself, you love yourself, and that kind of stuff is what I've been working on. I've got a relatively quiet week this week, client-wise, got people on holiday, that sort of thing. So I've got time to work on the magazine, that was the other thing I was doing this week, of course, and starting to really put together this website and the project. I've got a few recordings that need to be matched up with their audio. Like I've got me speaking, and then I've got the music, and I've got to work out who's going to go with which to get this finally off the ground. It's something I've been working on for bloody ages, but I haven't really got it done yet. So that's my main plan for the week.
All right, okay then. Well, hopefully we'll speak sometime during the week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
Okay.
And we are just going to relax, do a bit of shopping, and we've got a rescue to go and look at during the week.
Yeah, we've got
and
a rescue
do some
to
swimming.
Yeah, hopefully. So, until next time, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from her.
And it's good night from them.
So until next time, all that's left to say, guys, is keep the paranormal friendly. Good night and God bless.
Night, everyone.
This is where it's at.
From ghoulies and ghosties and long-legged beasties and things that go bump in the night, visit our ghost store, and next time you might be able to show what just gave you a fright.
So for all of your investigation needs, with over 100 products in stock waiting for dispatch within 24 hours, you need to visit theukghoststore.com.